So there are showmanship sign-up sheets back there in the barn.
Of Dearborn County. We're starting
Please
off
sign up for
today with
showmanship
Pygmy
as
goods
you're
and
moving
dairy
about.
goods show.
I will collect those later
Later
in
on
the show.
today,
So
we'll be back for the boar goat show, and tonight the sheep show. Have a great day.
Thanks, Aiden. Thanks, Jack.
I guess. How are you?
Good morning and welcome to 2022 Dearborn County Pygmy and Dairy Goat Show this morning. We would like to say thank you to our judge, Kelsey Robles, for coming down here this morning, and thank you to all of you for being here to support our kids. We're going to start our classes with our Pygmy goats. Class number 1 has our Pygmy intermediate kids with 2 entries, Ellie Shooter with Rain and Ellie Shooter with Lily.
Somebody broke the chair and disappeared. Oh no. Why don't they just leave it out?
Alright, we're going to start off today one placing over to really like the style of this UD goat here. She's showing us a stronger top line, especially. She's showing us a stronger top line, especially in the area of the rump with more of a natural slope to that rump.
Then we see in our second place doe. Our second place doe, I want to admire the length of body on this doe. We're just not quite seeing the width in the area of the rump and in between those hind legs to place her any higher today.
Congratulations to Ellie Streeter on her first and second place victory. Next order we have class number 2, our Pygmy yearling. We have a single entrant, Carissa Shaw with 3. Adam Miller, if you are here, please head to the relay with Brian. Thank you.
We have a single entry today. I really like the strength in those feet and legs on this doe. I really admire that depth of body, especially coming into that rear flank. I'd like to see a little bit more breed characteristics here, a little bit shorter to the ground, shorter cannon bone today. But I do want to admire that length of body and depth of body on her today.
Congratulations, Carissa. Moving on to our next class, we have class number 3, Pygmy goes 3 years and over. We have another single entry, Ellie Streeter with Lightning.
Another single entry in this class. Really admire the length of body and depth of body on this doe, strength in those feet and legs. I would like to see a little more width into that front end, especially into that hind leg that we typically see in our Pygmies. I'd like to see a little more of that breed characteristic with her today. But overall, I really want to admire her strength overall.
Congratulations, Ellie. Next in the ring, we have class number 4, Pygmy Weathers under 3 years. Entrants Carissa Shaw with Ramsey, Carissa Shaw with Riley, and Carissa Shaw with Rocky.
In this class, one place over to this weather showing us the most width throughout. In this class, he's showing us more width into that front end, especially the area of the chest when you get your hands on him. I would like to make him just a little bit longer body, but I really admire the depth of body, especially into that rear flank on this first place weather. 2 over 3, this weather here is just slightly has more width throughout, especially in the area of the top line and into the area of the rump than we see in our third place weather. Our third place weather, I really like the style of this little guy. Just not quite showing us the overall width to carry him any higher today.
Congratulations, Carissa, for your first, second, and third place entries. Class number 5, we have Pygmy Weathers over 3 years. We have a single entry, Adam Miller and Ryan.
Single entry in this class. I really like the style of this big guy. He is kind of out of form on our 3 characteristics of the pygmy. He is a taller and bigger style pygmy, but I really admire the overall width, especially in the area of that chest where when you get your hands on it, it follows through into the area of the rump today.
Congratulations, Adam. At this time, we will have our champion and reserve pygmy class with all of the first place animals in our previous 5 classes. I'd also like to thank our sponsors today. Champion Pygmy Trust is sponsored by J.H. Farms and Reserve Champion Pygmy by the Shooting Chamber.
There's 2 animals out here that really are showing us more correct breed type. They're staying a little bit shorter to the ground, a little shorter in the cannon bone, showing us more correctness of the color, correctness of the headset, and size. And for my green today, I'm going to go with one that's showing us quite a bit of width into that chest border. You get your hands on her, she's showing us the width across that top leg, more correctness in her overall structure, the strength in the feet and legs. And that's going to be my little go here in the line for my green.
Congratulations, early shooter, on your grand champion Pygmy with Rain.
As we pull our grand out of the line, we bring the second place that stood behind her in. Again, I'm going to use an animal that, again, is another correct breed type. He's correct overall
Congratulations, Carissa Shaw, on your reserve champion with riding. Next in the ring, we will begin our iconic goat classes. Class number 6 has 4 entries. We're going to give them just a second to get up here. Is that better? How about now? Now entering the ring, we have class number 6, Adam Miller, Landon Smith, and Landon Smith.
There we go. All right, we have our first class of myotonics out here. One placing over two. I really like this stylish doe to head off at the line for us today. She's shown us that correctness of breed characteristics into that head. You get your hands on her. She's shown us more width into that chest fork, more width across that top line, and she's just shown us those most overall shapeliness into that hindquarters that we want to see on these myotonics. 2 over 3, switch these last second. 2 over 3, she's showing us more length of the body than we see in our third place doe. She's showing us just more strength overall, especially into that hindquarters than we see in our third place doe. 3 over 4, this little doe here showing us more breed characteristics. She's more correct overall. She's structurally more correct. She's showing us more depth of body, especially into that heart girth. When you get your hands on her, she's showing us more overall width throughout. So I am going to yield the length of body to our 4th place animal today. Our 4th place animal today, she's just not quite showing us that overall width, especially in the area of that chest floor that we want to see and that we see on the does that stand ahead of her today. But I do want to admire and strengthen those feet and legs, and she's showing us that depth of body into that rear flank today, just not quite showing us that overall strength to move her any higher.
Congratulations, Landon Smith, on your first place entry with Falco. Second, Adam Miller, number 2. Third, Landon Smith with Sunflower. And fourth, Adam Miller with Thing 1. Next in the room, we have class number 7, our yearling entries. We have 2 entries, Landon Smith with D and Landon Smith with 10.
I got beat, yeah, kind of. We're gonna start off with our team first of all,
In this class, 1 placing over 2, I really like the style of this first place doe. She's showing us more width overall, especially across the area of the top line and into that rump when you get your hands on her. She's showing us more length of body, more depth of body throughout, and she's a little bit stronger on those feet and legs, especially into those hind pasterns than we see in our second place doe. Our second place doe, we're just not quite seeing that overall width throughout and depth, especially into that heart girth to move her any higher today. But I do want to commend her for that length of body and strength across that top line.
Congratulations, Landon Smith, with your first and second place entries. Next in the room, we have class number 8, our 2 and 3-year-old Mytonic goats. We have 3 entrants, Adam Miller with Penny, Landon Smith with Charger, and Landon Smith with Rosie.
In this class, one placing over 2, really stylish little doe to head off the line. You get your hands on her. She showed us a lot of width into that chest forward. She follows through all the way into that hind leg set. She showed us more width between those hocks. When we get behind this animal, she's showing us more spring rib, more width throughout, depth of body. I would like to see her just a little bit flatter across that rump. She's a little bit steep for my liking, but she overall is showing us the most strength that we see in our second place. 2 over 3, bigger bodied animal. We're seeing more depth of body throughout, more width throughout, especially in the area across that top line into that rump than we see in our third place doe. Our 3-year-old, our third place doe, I would like to see a little more overall width throughout. She's a little bit smaller than I would like to see with these myotonics, but I do want to commend her for that shapeliness into that hind leg set that we see on her today. I'd just like to give her a little more width for her to compete with the animals that stand before her today.
Congratulations. First place, Anna Smith with Rosie. Second place, Anna Smith with the Charger. And third, Adam Miller with Penny. At this time, we will have our champion myotonic goat class with our first place animals from classes 6 through 8. I would like to thank our champion team trophy sponsor today, Freeland Inc., Jenny and Jason Stanger.
We have our line right here for our graded and reserved myotonics. And when we look at these 3, we're seeing a similar style. We're seeing that depth of body. We're seeing the strength across that top line, strength in the feet and legs. We're seeing the correctness and the breed characteristics. We're seeing that natural slope to that rump, that shape to those hind legs that we want to see on these myotonics. But there's one out here that really pulls it all together for me. She's showing us more width throughout, especially into that chest forward. We get your hands on her. She's showing us the width across that top line. And so for my grand, I'm going to use the doe in the middle.
Congratulations to Landon Smith with his champion myotonic. Honey. Congratulations to Landon Smith with Rosie, the reserve champion myotonic today. Next in the ring, we will have our Nigerian Weathers. Class number 9 has 2 entries. We're going to give them just a second to get up here. Class number 9 has 2 entries. Emily Carlos, and Peyton Zinzer with Leo.
In this class, Nigerian weathers, one placing over two. With these older weathers, I'm looking for the structural correctness overall, and that's what we see with this first place weather. Though he is carrying excess weight, I'd like to thin him up a little bit more, especially being buried. But he has shown us that structural correctness. He's stronger in those feet and legs. He's shown us more dairy strength overall. You get your hands on him. He's shown us more width into that chest floor, the extension of the brisket, the levelness across that top line, especially from post to pins and thurl to thurl, than we see on our second place weather. Our second place weather, I really admired the depth of body, especially into that heart girth. We're just not seeing that width throughout, and we're not seeing that structural correctness overall to move him any higher today.
Congratulations to our grand champion Nigerian weather, Emily Stingers Carlos, and reserve champion Peyton Zinzer Leo. I would like to thank our sponsors for the champion Nigerian weather class, Doesn't Really Catch Any Family. Next in the ring, we will begin our Dairy Junior Does with class number 10. We have 4 entrants: Emily Stanger with Rocky Road, Morgan Lawrence with Millie and Charlotte, and Peyton Zinzer with Willow.
placing over two really strong Nigerian doe to head off the line. I really like the style of this doe. She's stronger across that top line. And when she moves to walk around the ring, she really levels out from post to pins as you watch her. You get your hands on her, she's showing us that flatness of bone, the spring of rib, and that looseness of that skin. Then we see in the does that stand behind her. 2 over 3, this doe here, she's showing us more depth of body, especially into that rear flank. When you get your hands on her, she's showing us the levelness across that top line, the width between those hocks when you get behind her. Then we see in her 3rd place. 3 over 4, this placing here, she's longer body, she's stronger across that top line. She levels out from post to pins. When you get behind these two does, she's showing us more straightness into that rear leg, more width between the hocks than we see on our 4th place animal. Our 4th place doe, I'd like to give her more depth of body, especially into the area of the rear flank. I'd like to see her a little bit stronger from post to pins, a little more stronger in those rear legs than we can see on her today. But overall, I do want to commend her for the strength of those feet and legs, especially in the area of the pasterns, and that levelness across that top line dairy strength today.
Congratulations, 1st place Emily Stinger, 2nd place Peyton Zizer, and 3rd and 4th place to Morgan Lawrence. Next in the ring we have class number 11, our Nubian Junior Does. We have 4 entries: Riley Shoemate with Easter Lily, Riley Shoemate with Elderberry, Owen Shoemate with Candy, and Owen Shoemate in Tulip.
across the Nubian does, one placing over to more balanced doe. When you get your hands on her as you walk her around the ring, she's showing us more structural correctness in those feet and legs. She's showing us that depth of body, especially into that heart girth. You get your hands on her, she's showing us that spring of rib, that flatness of bone throughout. And when you get behind her, she's showing us the width between those hocks up into that escutcheon. She's showing us the length and width from hooks to pins and dural. Then we see on the does that stand behind her. 2 over 3, this doe here is showing us more spring of rib today, flatness of bone. You get your hands on her, she's showing us more length and width across that top leg, especially in the area of the rump. She's flatter across the area of the rump from hooks to pins than we see in our 3rd place doe. 3 over 4, this doe here, again, a doe that's showing us more spring of rib and flatness of bone than we see in the doe that stands behind her. I would like to see a little more length of body on her today, and a little bit more flatness from hooks to pins and dural to place her any higher. But I really admire the strength in those feet and legs that we see on this 3rd place doe. Our 4th place doe is a smaller doe. She's just not quite showing us the overall structural correctness and general appearance, especially in the area of that top line. As she tracks her in the ring, she's not wanting to walk as well, so she doesn't level out quite as well from hooks to pins that we see on the does that stand before her. And I'd like to give her a more depth of body, especially in that rear flank that we see the does ahead of her. But I do admire the strength in those feet and legs and length of body of her today.
Congratulations to Riley Shoemate on your 1st and 2nd place entries, and Owen Shoemate on your 3rd and 4th place entries. Next in the ring, we will have our grand champion, Junior Dairy Doe, with our 1st place entries from Emily Singer and Riley Shoemate. Thank you to our sponsors for our champion and reserve drive, Stephen Hubbard, and for Evergreen Complete Ground Care.
We have our lineup out here for our champion reserve dry dairy does, and our 2 first place out here, they have a lot of similar characteristics, but yet they're very different, and not just breed type, but structurally as well. These 2 does, we're seeing the levelness across that top line. We're seeing the levelness from hooks to pins and dural. You get behind these does, we're seeing the width up into that escutcheon between those hocks. But there's one out here that really brings it together. She's showing us more extension into the area of the brisket. She's stronger on that front end assembly, stronger in those feet and legs, showing us just a little more depth of body, especially into that rear flank. And so for my granddad, I'm going to use my Nigerian doe at the end of the line.
Congratulations to Emily Singer with her grand champion Junior Doe.
we bring the second place that stood behind my grant, again, I'm going to use a doe that's shown us more length from hooks to pins, flatness from throw. She's shown us more width between those hocks and up into that escutcheon. She's shown us more of that springer rib, that pliable skin that we want to see on these dairy does. And so for my reserve, I am going to use my median yearling.
Congratulations to Riley Shoemake on her reserve champion junior doe. Next in the ring, we will have our dairy senior doe, class number 12. We have 3 entries: Preston Gabbard with Paris, Emily Center with Thin Mint, and Emily Center with Cookie.
In this class, my first and second will also be my grand and reserve out here. But one placing over to really stylish Lamancha dove here to head off the line. I would like to clean her up a little bit in that front end, make her more smoothly blended from that neck into that shoulder set, like we see on our second place dove. So I will commend our second place doe on that smoothness of blending. But today at 1/2, she's stronger across that top line, especially from hooks to pins. We're seeing more length in the area of the rump, flatness of bone and width from thorough to thorough. We get your hands on her. She's showing us that flatness of bone throughout, the loose pliable skin, the spring of rib, that depth of body, especially into that rear flank. And when we get to that mammary system, she's more smoothly blended into the area of the attachments overall. She's showing us a higher, wider rear udder attachment when you get behind these two does. And she's just showing us more strength overall in those feet and legs, especially in those hind legs today than we see in our second place doe. 2/3, she's more smoothly blended in that front end, assembly from that neck into that shoulder set. You get your hands on her, she's showing us more spring of rib. When we come down to that mammary system, she's showing us more evenness between the halves. She's showing us more strength in the overall attachment, especially in that forearm attachment. She's showing us more length up into that body than we see on our third place doe. Our third place doe, we are commending her for that length of body across that top line, the flatness of bone from thorough, and hooks to pin. She's flatter across the area of the rump than we see in our second place doe, so I will commend her on that. We're just not quite seeing the overall smoothness in the area of the attachment, especially in that forearm attachment to place her any higher today.
Congratulations to Preston Gallagher, senior doe, and Center with the reserve champion senior doe. Next in the ring, we will have class number 13, our mother-daughter entry. We have 4 entrants: Emily Steiner with Pygmy and Goodman, Adam Miller with Honey and Things, Ellie Shooter with Lightning and Rain, and Landon Smith with Rosie and Flower. I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsors for our grand champion milking doe, which is the Manchester Rowdies and Dearborn County Farm Bureau, and our reserve grand champion milking does for Family Farm and Porter Elmish Farm, Liz and Russell Byerslifer. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone to sign up for showmanship. If you have not done that yet today, the papers are currently in the barn, but they will be coming up to this table shortly. I'd also like to announce that the Supreme Showmanship, the winners of Intermediate and Senior Showmanship will need to sign up in the 4-H office for Supreme Showmanship. And they will also need to sign up at the 4-H office for the Cloverbud Livestock Showmanship Workshop.
We have our mother-daughter class out here. In our mother-daughter class, we want to state the strengths of the mother coming down into the breeding, because that's why we breed these animals. We want to see improvements. And that's what we see in our first place care of these Nigerians. We're seeing more strength in the top line, especially from hooks to pins. We're seeing that depth of body, the strength in those feet and legs. I would like to see a better attachment on the forerunner coming from the dam into the daughter. But we're seeing more overall strengths and general appearance on this pair than we see in the animals that stand behind them. 2 over 3, we're seeing more correctness in breed characteristics from dam into daughter. We're seeing the strength across that top line. We're seeing just stronger structure on this daughter than we do for dam, than we see in the does that stand behind her. 3 over 4, this pair here again, stronger structurally correct does. We're seeing more correctness in both these pairs than we see in our fourth place pair. They're stronger across the area of the top lane. They're showing us more width throughout, being monotonics. And when we compare mother to daughter, we're seeing more strength overall in the daughter than we do the dam, especially the natural slope to the area of the rump. Our fourth place pair here, taking nothing away from them, I like the length of body on these does, the depth of body, especially into that rear flank. Just not quite showing us that structural correctness that we see in the does ahead of them to place them any higher today.
First place, Emily Stenger. Second place, Ellie Shooter. Third, Landon Smith. And fourth, Adam Miller. Next in the ring, we have class number 14, our produce and dam class. We have 2 entries, Morgan Lawrence and Lillian Charlotte, and Landon Smith with Sunflower Daffodil.
We have our produce and dam class out here. With these group classes, I'm looking at structural correctness for their breeds. I'm looking for the strengths overall. And produce and dam, I'm wanting to see similar does coming from that dam. And that's what we see with our first place group here, our La Mancha group. We're seeing a lot of similarity between the does. We're seeing a lot of structural strength for their breeds. We're seeing that levelness across that top line, levelness from hooks to pins, and strength in those feet and legs. And these 2 very similar does with this pair, they do have their differences, but they're built very similar to each other. Then we do see in our second pair, our monotonic pair, 2 different does here, structural wise. We have one doe that's more structurally correct. She's longer body. She's showed us more depth. She's stronger across that top line, more length across that top line than we see in the other one. And the other doe, I'd like to correct her a little bit more. Though they're sisters, we're just not quite seeing that similarity in that structural, or that correctness and structural build that we do in our first pair today.
Congratulations to Morgan Lawrence with her first place entry and Landon Smith with her second place entry. Next in the ring, we have class number 15, our Get a Sire class, and our 1 entry is from the Shoemate family. I'd like to thank our specialty class sponsors, our Get a Sire sponsors, Farm Credit Services of Mid-America, Produce and Dam sponsor, Lockwood Valley Ag, and mother-daughter sponsor, Devin and the family.
How Joey doing, good? Good,
Beginning with Genesire, we're looking at from the sire coming into these daughters, even though they have different dams, we want to see that similarity between the three of them, that the sire is passing down those traits. And we're not quite seeing a similarity coming from our two black goats with our brown goat, but we are seeing that structural correctness, that levelness across that top line of the street, the strength and feet and legs and the width between those hops up into that escutcheon. Little brown goat would like to level her out just a little bit more that we see in our two black does, and that kind of comes from the differences in dams. But overall, the sire is throwing the strength in those front end assemblies and the strength across that top line, especially in the area of the shine.
Congratulations to my family on your first place entry. We are going to, at this time, take a 10-minute break, and then we will begin our showmanship classes. It is not too late to sign up for that if you haven't done that yet. At this time, we're going to begin with our senior showmanship entrance. We have Adam Miller, Morgan Lawrence in the ring.
stand some more competition out here, be able to work them a little bit more. So I did have them change animals for that reason, to see how well they showed each other's animals, since we've got one dairy and one pygmy out here. And then I went through and asked them some questions. And our young lady's going to pull herself to the top for that knowledge of the body parts, the knowledge of being able to tell me what she likes and dislikes about her animal, and just being able to set her up at all times, keep her set up, and be able to show the pygmy as well, have him set up and keep him set up at all times as well. So she came out on top because of her knowledge today. And then our second showman here, he does an excellent job handling this pygmy. Not quite as easy about the dairy of setting her up, and then just keep working on those body parts. But like I said, both these showmen out here could withstand some more competition today.
Congratulations to Warren Lawrence, our senior goat showman, and Adam Miller, our reserve senior goat showman. Those classes were sponsored by the Smith family and the Earl and Bert Wilhelm family. Next in the ring, we have our intermediate showman class, Ellie Shooter, Riley Shoemake, and Emily Stanger.
handling her own animal, as well as when we switched animals, she handled the other two animals almost better as well. When she got a hold of my Nigerian wasn't wanting to cooperate, wasn't wanting to stand very well, wasn't wanting to stand the correct direction in line, but she still continued to work with her. She continued to try to get her to be correct, and so finally I just told her to leave her alone. It wasn't going to work. And so when she set that animal up, she set her up to her best advantage. When you have a doe with a mammary system, when you set that animal up, you want those legs to hug that udder. What I was told when I was younger, you don't want to set up a milker like you would a buck. You don't want that udder to have airway on each side of that udder between those legs. And she did an excellent job handling that mammary system, making sure that when you look at that side, you saw a third on that mammary system. And she did an excellent job with that. When she got a hold of the Pygmy, she handled the Pygmy nicely. When it stopped kind of cooperating, she gave her correctness and it worked with her. That doe walked with her. She handled it nicely. When she set that animal up, she set it up very well as well. When you get your hands on this doe, she's very clean shaved. She's spotless throughout between those hooves, on those hooves, underneath that tail, the nose, all those spots. She has that animal cleaned up to her best advantage, and that was very impressive. And then when I went through and asked questions, she's very knowledgeable. She knew those body parts. When I asked her what she liked and disliked about her doe, she gave me the correct answers. She did an excellent job telling me what she liked and disliked. Try not to move as much in the show ring. It's hard when you have animals that don't quite want to stand still, but the less movement, the better. But overall, you did an excellent job handling all three of these animals, setting them up, and your knowledge. So I want to commend you for that. 2/3, another showman that does an excellent job handling these animals. Again, the Pygmy wasn't quite wanting to cooperate, as the Pygmy does, but another showman that handled the Pygmy quite well. Didn't have her doe quite set up like I would like most of the time, but she did an excellent job handling her when she doesn't want to be in the ring anymore from already being shown. But another showman that's knowledgeable in the body parts and telling you what she likes and dislikes about her animal. And then we have our young showman here in line with the Pygmy, definitely not last. Does an excellent job handling this Pygmy, especially when she starts being stubborn. Just not quite knowledgeable on body parts, and when I ask you what you like and dislike about your animal. But you do an excellent job showing your animal. Practice with kind of some of the dairy breeds, dry versus milkers. You may not have another judge that has you trade animals like I did today. You may have one. So I would practice just in case you do have another judge that switches animals. But overall, these three showmen did an excellent job today.
Congratulations to Riley Schumate, our intermediate goat showman, and Emily Stanger, our intermediate goat reserve showman. Next in the ring, we have our junior showmanship entries, Landon Smith and Carissa Shaw. We also have Owen Schumate in this class.
Alright, in this class, these three showmen, there's little things in between all three of them. And today you could go any which way with all three. There's just kind of little things in between all three, why I placed them the way they are. 1/2, this young showman does an excellent job. I've watched him show all day, which is an advantage of having showmanship at the end because I see you showing other animals all day. And I still switched animals, even though our showman here in 3rd, I watched him show my tonics, I've seen him show pygmies, he's been helping everybody today. But I went ahead and switched because our myotonic and our pygmy showman, I haven't seen them show a dairy doe yet. So I wanted to see how they handled her today. But 1/2, this young man does an excellent job handling his weather. He is more laid back, he's a little bit easier going. I'd like to see him cleaned up a little bit, especially on the hair and the rear legs. But he does an excellent job handling all three of the animals. When I asked him questions, he was very confident in his answers, very knowledgeable about his animal. He listened to what I said in the ring. And in our side-by-side line, he did mess up on which side to take your animal on. But just his other strengths kind of outweighed that one mistake out here today. 2/3, this young lady, I'd like to see a little more confidence in her showing, especially when she comes into the ring. But she did do the side-by-side maneuver correctly. She does an excellent job explaining herself, and she handles her animal. She keeps this animal set up at all times to its best advantages. When she got a hold of the myotonic weather, she had him set up just a little bit better than the other showmen did out here, and that's why she's placing in 2nd today. Our young man here in 3rd, definitely not last, does an excellent job showing this little newbie. He's done an excellent job showing the other breeds out here, not just dairy. But keep working on those body parts, keep working in those maneuvers, and trying a little less movement in the show ring, especially with the animals. But overall, he did an excellent job handling this animal as well as the other animals out here today.
Congratulations to our junior goat showman, Logan Smith, and our junior goat reserve showman, Carissa Shaw. Next in the ring, we have our rookie showmanship class with a single entry. We have Pete and Zinzer.
We have a single entry in the showmanship class. Could definitely withstand some competition out here. We talked to with it being her first year, so I spent some time kind of showing her some body parts, answering questions, and talking with her to kind of help better herself next year. But this young lady does an excellent job handling this weather. He is a little bit contrary about his feet, so I gave her a tip on that chain and how to set up those back feet. But like I said, she can definitely withstand some competition out here. I'm curious to see how she does next year with the information I gave her and see how she uses that to guide herself for next year.
Good job, Clayton. Next in the room, we have our 4-H showmanship. These are kids that don't show dairy or pygmy goats, but they're going to give it a try today. We have several entries: Daniel Callahan, Jacob Poon, Rosalie Bear, and Olivia Frankenstein.
showmanship class out here for those who may have never shown a dairy animal and kind of interested in. I really like this class. I really like the idea behind this class, especially if you've got a supreme showmanship in your county fair, and if you're in it, or if you have been in it, or if you're wanting to be in it. This class is perfect to come out here and practice with the goats. You're able to come out here, you're able to learn, you can ask questions. I went through and asked everybody if they had any questions on showing an animal. If you're interested in showing goats, this is a perfect class for it as well. And so I really like the idea behind this class. But today, one place thing over two, this young man does an excellent job handling this yearling. He came out here in the regular show and handled her as well. He was very knowledgeable. When I asked him what he liked and disliked about the animal, he handles her very nicely. He switches sides correctly, and he does it with accuracy as well, no matter wherever I move. So I really want to commend him on how well he shows this animal. 2 over 3, another young lady that does an excellent job of handling this doe. She does an excellent job showing her, keeping her set up at all times. Just not quite as fast about changing sides, doesn't change sides as often as I would like with where I move, but also very knowledgeable when I asked her what she liked and disliked about her animal as well. And if you listen to the show, and these 2 young showmen showed in the actual show as well, and if you listen to my reasons, right there it's going to give you what I want to know, what you like and dislike about your animal. And so them actually showing these animals in the show actually gave them kind of an advantage on that, because they were able to hear what I liked and disliked about the animals that they're showing today. 3 over 4, this young man does an excellent job handling this pygmy, whether he has him set up at all times to his best advantage. Not quite as knowledgeable about the animal and being able to tell me what he likes and dislikes about the animal. He does an excellent job handling this animal. Our young lady at the end of the line, definitely not last. You can tell she's kind of new to animals, or new to the goats, but she's doing an excellent job handling this animal. It's a learning experience to come out here. Just keep practicing with them if you are interested, and if you want to show them. Don't be afraid to pull on them. If you walk, they're gonna walk with you. But she does an excellent job out here. Just continue practicing which side you should be on, switching sides, watching the judge. But overall, these 4 showmen did an excellent job out here tonight.
Congratulations to Jacob Coon, our all 4-H dairy goat showman, and Rosalie Fair, our all 4-H reserve dairy goat showman. That will conclude our pygmy and dairy goat show this morning. I want to thank all of our sponsors and all of you for being here today, and another thank you to our judge for coming out and helping us today as well.
Attention sheep exhibitors, the show bill has been posted on the backside of the 4-H office.